A Ferengi, a Klingon, and a Tellarite going to a bar.
The train now arriving on platform is the train everybody needs.
Mambo, 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 mambo. Thank you.
The blue zone is for takeaway orders only. There is no barbecuing in the blue zone.
Barbecuing is in the white zone only. Please do not barbecue outside of the white zone. Dramatic pause. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and assorted others, and welcome to Rikers Beard Live. We are joined this week by, as ever, the ant to my deck, James.
Hello.
And again, the very fabulous Mr. Miles, the Admiral Jackson. How are we doing? Miles has been on before, but please, if you don't mind, just introduce yourself for those. And let me get some appropriate music for you to introduce yourself to, and then introduce yourself. Okay, go for it.
Okay. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Miles Jackson. I am the Admiral here from East Scarborough. Long-time fan and huge friend of everyone on Facebook and everyone who's been going to the Star Trek conventions over the years. All right, guys?
That's pretty good. I think possibly this would be more appropriate.
I like it. Are you saying I'm one big horrible lizard?
Well, it's pure. It's the amount of time that you've been knocking around. I mean, basically, when for social media purposes, you were the first one that got it going. You were the one that brought everyone together.
I think it's the only good thing that's come out of Facebook. You know, the Destination Star Trek friend group that we all bonded over quite wholeheartedly, because we had like 6 or 9 months of creating friendships and getting excited and making plans and which hotels we're going to be at, and just literally a huge community.
I remember that I hadn't met James when the first DST was announced. the 5 captains, I believe they coined it as, and I was so excited about a Star Trek convention happening in the UK. I'd just never heard of one. I had the opportunity to go.
No.
I was so excited about going, and I went with a friend of mine called Richard Bayliss, my mother, my brother, and 2 friends of mine called Bo and Dee. We went for the day, and it was just, the actual build-up and being excited about going was almost as good as actually going. It really was. It's like all I would talk about at work was it. And because I was talking about it at work, I suddenly discovered friends at work that were in Star Trek. I didn't know we're in Star Trek, but because I was talking about going to the convention, I made new friends at work. We had a common interest. It was just wonderful.
It was a nice common denominator that we all had something to gravitate to. And no matter, you didn't care what your background or what your anything that you had, we were all there for the show, but we all liked Star Trek. And I remember we had, even in our group, the Facebook group, we had, a symbol as part of, like you've got your Rikers beard symbol, we had a symbol. And people just either printed out and they wore it or they had badges. And it was nice when you saw something with it, you go, oh, hello, you must be on the group chat. What's your name? Oh, I've been talking to you for months.
Yeah, we had a very similar thing at the next one in London we went to when Rikers Beard Live, or Let's Talk Trek as it was coming out, and we all decided to have a Hawaiian shirt night. And it was absolutely staggering how many people turned up in Hawaiian shirts. It was just, it was genuinely, it was very touching. But we were absolutely blown away just how many people turned up to our Hawaiian shirt get together in the middle of a Star Trek convention. It's
really good. And it's nice that people have got together and they have made friends. And, because of this group and because of people, getting together and going to this convention and making friends, babies have now been born because of this, so, from new relationships and stuff. So it's been brilliant. It's been fantastic.
It has been fantastic. And as we always do, we try and find positives from every situation. When you said that everyone found this common cause to get together and get excited about and join together in, it made me think of one of the positives of Discovery, and that's our hatred of it and the way it's just gelled a lot of people together. So we always look for positives.
And then,
as ever, let's
just double down and give us Section 31. So, it's
Hey, what's worse, the morning after a Vindaloo or Section 31? Answer in the comments. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Rikers Beard Live. You're joined by myself, Richard, the Ant to My Deck, James, and the Admiral Mars Jackson. If you've
Mesdames et messieurs, bonsoir et bienvenue à l'émission de Rikers Barb, émission en direct. Je suis accompagné de mes collègues Richard Ashby et Mars Jackson. Ce soir, nous allons passer en revue nos sujets habituels et faire une annonce spéciale. Sans plus attendre, passons à l'émission.
And now, James, please do that in Klingon.
Not Yiddish. Now, as ever, in the comments, if you've seen the show before, or if you haven't, please do say hello. We like to know where you're from, your favorite show, and your favorite character. We please do put that in the comments. And let's say good evening to our regular viewers who've already chimed in. Let's say hi to Chris. How you doing, buddy? Christoph, how are you doing?
Hey, Christoph.
Hey, Louise, how are you doing? Carrie, will you stop talking about the length of your chap? We don't want to know. Mark, how are you doing, buddy?
Hey, Mark, how you doing?
James, hello, James, how are you? I think this must be another show. That can't be someone's. It could be someone's name. We'd love you on our show to talk Trek, but we're happy to talk Trek whenever.
Who are you? Completed it, Pod?
Show. That can't be someone's. It could be someone's name.
There's an echo in here.
It'll be James, right? Good evening, Dave. How you doing? Rashid, how you doing, buddy? Yes, we know. I like to poke the nest, as you're well aware.
Yeah, and it's all done in jest,
We're very pleased that you like it, even if you are wrong. Hey, John, how you doing, buddy? And stop talking about the length of Gary's chap, Louise. So this evening, got to be a little bit topical. I think I know where this is going to go when I talk about how we're going to do Mother's Day. How are we going to do Mother's Day? Star Trek Mother's Day. How are we going to do Star Trek Mother's Day? I know what I'd go to, but as I've thrown it on, I'll give you guys the chance to come forward with a topic of Star Trek conversation associated with Mother's Day first. There's two real avenues that I would go down, but it's well, let's not throw James straight into the fire. James, you go first. Star Trek Mother's Day.
Well, let's think. Which mothers have we met? Now we've met Picard's mum twice, haven't we? We met her in Picard.
Yeah, but stuff that's good.
Who took her life. But then in an earlier episode of TNG, we met her as an old woman who had survived into old age.
So let's talk about good Star Trek mother. stuff. Not
Well,
crap.
we met
Picard
Kirk's
side story.
mum in the 2009 film, and we met her in a very exciting time in her life when Kirk was being born.
What James means to say is obviously Loxana Troy, everyone's favourite mother of TNG, and
no, I didn't want to say that at all. If anything, I was actively avoiding that.
Really? Do you not like the character?
I'm ambivalent.
Really?
I thought it was good, tongue in cheek, just playful, and I thought it was fun.
I always enjoy the episodes of TNG that have a comedic's wrong. It's not just comedy. It's a lighter side that show a lighter side. It's because for me, if you're going to represent the future, it's not all going to be roses, of course not. And yes, they do like to tackle serious topics. And the best way to dissolve a serious topic is with a bit of humor. And I think it makes it accessible. So, and I think Loxana Troy does that superbly. I think she's absolutely wonderful. I think the actress is great. She's not on with us now, is she? Gosh, no.
No, yes.
And
what I love. Sorry to cut in, but I loved in Picard last episode when Riker says, "I miss that voice," and it was the computer voice, like, "Yeah, we miss her. Miss that voice. It's so
yeah."
Absolutely. So definitely, Richard. Loxana Troy, completely, ridiculous, but funny, but not over funny. It's also just the relationship between Picard and Loxana.
Yeah, that was always great, and of course, Mr. Holm.
The best line ever spoken in the whole thing is permission to host a wedding. Granted, number one, nothing will make me more happier than giving away Loxana Troy. It's like brilliant, and that only is funny because of the whole dynamic of, Loxana and Picard, and it's brilliant,
It's and the way that it comes back, it's recurring, is always very sweet.
Yeah.
It's nice.
Yeah. Definitely.
But that was James's choice. What's your choice, please, Miles?
For mothers. Oh, who's going to be the next mother in Star Trek? Now you put me in the books. I was going to say Loxana Troy. Do you know what? I'm really stuck now.
Well, that's right. I mean,
the comments that we put up.
Yeah, someone keeps putting up comments before we've got getting onto the comments. I think it might be James, but to steal it out of your mouth, to steal it out of Miles' mouth. Moogie, my second.
Moogie.
Yeah, Moogie. Yeah.
Moogie. Moogie. Absolutely. Again. The whole dynamic, and it's great to show Moogie in the Ferengi, and we get to know more about the Ferengi life and how she's completely polar opposite, and how she has great not as much fun as Loxana, but again she's put all the sons know their mother's just going to wind them up and cause them embarrassment. Quark is completely embarrassed by his mother and completely infuriated, but he loves her.
And in the comments, you can Google for me. I forget the actress's name now. Wasn't she superb? I think DS9. I think probably were blessed more than any other series with ringers that come in and do such a good job. And certainly the actress that played Moogie was absolutely outstanding. But let's delve into the comments.
Crusher, no.
Go on, James. Now you can do it. Go on, James.
You want me to click the buttons? All right. Well, we had Moogie, of course. That's there. A couple of people put Moogie up. That's Rashid and Dave. We've also had Dr. Crusher, now, of course.
The MILF. Crusher, yes.
Wesley.
Yep.
What's she booking off for a year?
Wesley.
Season 2 leaves her son. That's not a good mother.
Wesley, what's the difference between the Prime Directive and your mother?
Oh, don't say it.
No. No.
I've never violated the Prime Directive.
Ah!
Oh, why, Iona?
Oh, dear.
Yeah, although I read somewhere that Crusher's meant to be So only like 30 or something when we see her in Encounter at Farpoint, and with Wesley being 15, that's curious. But then I think that must be wrong.
Not in Scarborough. It's not.
Well, because she's meant to be sort of a contemporary of Picard, isn't she? Because she and Jack Crusher are meant to have gone through everything together, and Picard's meant to be about 60 or 70 at the beginning of TNG.
Really?
He is, yeah. He's meant to be a lot older than you think, because he's been a captain for like 20 years already.
Oh, wow.
At that point, yeah.
Oh, I never realised that. Okay.
Well, I think they are meant to be the same age. But if I'm wrong, people can tell me in the comments, which is where the experts normally hide.
He was captain of Stargazer for 10 years, and hence when Bok, the Ferengi, it's like, 10 years I've been wanting my revenge on all sorts. So, yeah. He's been a captain for a long time.
I mean, I think perhaps age is a more fluid term in that century, because obviously advancements, they'd be able to do better than Botox, one would presume. Yeah. So,
yeah. Do we then skip the whole Insurrection movie where they literally had to stretch in your skin?
Wasn't that great? And isn't it weird how Marina Sirtis looks like that now?
Well, you've had breakfast with her, Richard.
We don't talk about that, James. We don't talk. That's
like eggs in the morning, Richard.
That's an anecdote for Let's Talk Trek Noir. We don't talk about that. Back into the comments. Mother's Day. You have to talk about the relationship between Captain Freeman and Mariner, and we would if we cared about Lower Decks.
Again, it was a good. I enjoyed Lower Decks,
and I'm pleased you did. So why don't you talk about that relationship for us, Mark?
Again, it's the whole scathing mother, rebellious teenage.
Been there, done it before, yeah. But it's like really new or original there, yeah.
But it's like, what did that actually dynamic bring to the episode, to this whole series?
Nothing.
Apart from it was meant to be a whole reveal. Oh, she's my daughter. And that was it. So
yeah.
It was all right. There was better relationship between mother and daughter. Like the O'Briens. That was better.
I mean, as stunning recommendations go, it was all right. I think we'll that was really good. So there's a few people now getting into it with Picard's age in the comments. So we'll let that simmer, I think, and we'll revisit that a little bit later on.
Having actually just rewatched season 1 of Picard, I believe he mentions that he was somewhere in his 90s at the point where he died.
Wow.
He didn't die.
He did die at the end of season 1. You weren't watching carefully, were you?
Hang on a minute. Right now.
He died and he was downloaded into a golem body.
But they made him an old man in the robot's body. They didn't even give him like superpowers.
Yes, I wouldn't have minded an extra 10 or 20 years.
Or a USB drive. Something. It's something.
But if like, couldn't you put me into a younger body, please?
Well, a bit more hair. Fuck it. Jesus Christ. Just put him in exactly the same body. What a shit is that? That's terrible. Louise disagrees, but as always, we're pleased that other people.
Keiko, that's it, Dave. Yeah, thanks, Dave. Keiko, that's it. Keiko.
Yeah. Oh, Keiko. So I'm on a rewatch of DS9 at the moment, and I haven't rewatched DS9 since I became a father, and I have to admit it's having something close to a emotional impact on me now watching it as a father. I mean, I wouldn't have an emotion, but it's if I were to have one, I may be having one as a father now watching it, and the dynamic and the way that the relationship grows between O'Brien and Keiko and their daughter Molly is just absolutely superb. There's some really good. I don't think you really got a proper idea of what it's like being a family living in Starfleet until you had that in DS9. I think it's the first time. Oh, what would it be like being married to a Starfleet officer or a non-com officer? And it's tough on them. It's tough on the family. It's
the
tough
whole
on
moving around, and
it's difficult.
Now, I mean, I remember watching DS9 when I was a lot younger, It's like all the concerns that Keiko had, like, oh, where are we going to bring up? And is this the sort of place to have a family on a space station? You know, before I was like, oh, shut up whining. But now I'm like, actually, yeah, it's a bit, you know, I can understand where she's coming from. So it's all about, you know, personal development. And, you know, maybe it was just ahead of its time, you know, in terms of for our to appreciate it.
I think it does go to, for me, though, it shows how unsupporting she was. I thought it was bang out of order when she had to go at Miles for setting up a workshop in the bedroom. She wasn't there for half the time anyway. So why not use the space? What's her problem?
Listen, from experience, Miles's get a lot of anger from their wives. You know, we deserve it. So, you know.
If you're into that, James, I'm not going to judge you. But the you got to remember.
It's Miles, not James.
It applies to both of you. I'm. But yeah, it's great. DS9 gives you, I think, a much, and certainly now rewatching it as a father, I'm appreciating the way they explore the family dynamics. They've never done that before. Certainly not in Voyager, certainly not in TNG. That the family dynamics never been explored before, and it's explored in its fullness. You get the Ferengi family dynamics, you get the Miles and Keiko, you get a single father. I mean, how ahead of its time is that? A single dad bringing up his son. That's just something superb. Well, Worf perhaps is not the best example, but you know, certainly Cisco and
yeah, again the whole family dynamic there as a parent. So yeah, a lot of it now. You know, I have a son who's now 17, and again would have been Jake's age, and you know, again, I wanted to be a man and show him how to be a good person, and so you know, so yeah, it's nice that it's Star Trek a model for me to sort of, you know, it's so much stuff has given us, hasn't it? Star Trek.
Promise me this, Miles.
Yes.
If he's the same age as Jake Sisko, you won't let him dress like Jake Sisko.
But he could.
The bus company. I found some spare fabric from the seats. We're going to make you some new outfits.
So I watched the other night because I'm rewatching it with the kids at the moment. I watched The Visitor, season 3, episode 2. This is with the late great Tony Todd that plays the older Jake Sisko, and I don't mind saying I absolutely cried like a baby watching that, and I found it as a father now very difficult to watch. Very difficult. I enjoyed it more, but I found it hard to watch. And I couldn't believe I looked over in the corner, and out the corner of my eye, my 14-year-old son is watching this, and he's got a tear in his eye too. And I have to say, I felt pretty damn proud. I thought he's a good lad. He's appreciating this episode and what it means. He's a good lad.
And also watching that recently myself, I'm exactly in the mindset of Sisko, you know, Benjamin Sisko, saying, you know, live your life. Don't worry about me. I'm in this other space. Don't concern yourself. Where's your family? Where's the kids? Where's the grandkids? You know, live. And, you know, I'm like, yes, why? That's all he wanted, you know, Jake to do, live his life and not to worry about his dad.
That was pretty good, Miles, but at the risk of getting too serious here, could you repeat that with an actual impression of Benjamin Sisko, please?
Oh, yes.
I want to know the truth. No, yeah, it's just
you can't handle the truth.
Would you like a reference?
Go on.
Oh, Dico, where are my grandkids? We go to the neighborhood. I knew I'd have to learn to make a jambalaya. We got
very good.
People have asked me if I can.
Was that your racist joke you got to tell us earlier?
They have asked me if I can record personalized greetings for them on the voicemail and such, but apparently it sounds too much like
on Cameo as fake Sisko.
Fake Sisko, yeah.
Yeah.
I made like £2.40.
It's like half a pint. Almost a full pint in Weatherspoons.
So, is there any other mothers to talk about, or is that really?
Yes, we've kind of gone off piece and gone more about dads here, which is understandable because we're 3 chaps.
Oh, you missed the big one. The worst mother in all of Star Trek,
Beverly Crusher.
Jane.
Oh,
Janeway. Well, she has the lizard babies and leaves them on that planet. Just buggers off back to the Alpha Quadrant.
Well, surely Beverly Crusher having a son with Picard and not telling him. that was pretty cold.
That's really bad. Oh yeah. By the way, this 21-year-old is yours.
That was pretty cold. So hang
Well,
on.
I mean, as a
curious
family lawyer, I encounter stuff like this all the time.
Who's Carl?
So am I not good enough? Am I not good a replacement for Carl?
I'm not sure who this Carl is they're talking about. But yes, so okay, let's spin it around then. Let's go for worst mum then. We've had our favourite mums, worst mum. You've gone for Janeway because she abandoned her
brand new babies. Yeah, we see them on screen for seconds, and then she just goes, "All right, I'm leaving you. Bye."
I think I have got one for worst mum. Kayla just turned upon the Enterprise. Go, oh, I've got a little boy to show you off. Here's a 4-year-old or 3-year-old, and then dies.
How dare she? It's very inconsiderate.
So, worst mum. She just showed she was literally a mum for half an episode. That's it. She's gone. So for those who don't
remember the actress that played her because she's played a few other parts as well.
Oh yeah, that was
Susie Paxson.
Susie Paxson.
She's really good.
Yeah, she's done loads. I liked her especially as Q.
Yes, the female Q.
Yes.
Oh, I've always liked you, Klingons. You got such spunk.
She was brilliant as the female Q. She was fantastic.
And the best line as well, another one, is where on the Voyager, Q, John Delancey is trying to woo Janeway with a puppy. Up comes Q, Susie, and goes, "What are you doing with that dog?" And I don't mean the puppy. And it's just the look of John Delancey. I'm like, gets me every time. Best line and best reaction ever.
I love Janeway's expression when he just appears in the bath with her. It's outstanding.
I'm sure there's some people like they must like the foot, him kissing the foot, but
Hey, try anything once.
That's my vote. Kayla, not a very good mum.
Worst mum. Mine's definitely Beverly Crusher. I think that was disgusting.
Yeah.
But however, he did have a British accent, so she's done half a job right.
The inexplicable British accent. Where's this come from?
So who's not getting a Mother's Day card is Kayla, Crusher, and Janeway. They're not getting a Mother's Day card.
I mean, to be fair, Janeway's kids probably couldn't write a card on account of being some kind of amphibian.
But listen, if they're advanced humans, they should have thought of that.
No Mother's Day card for them, but Mother's Day cards for Loxana, for Moogie, and who was the other one we... Must have been another good mum. Oh yes, the one from Lower Decks.
Yeah.
Mariner's mum.
Freeman.
Carol Freeman.
Yeah. They get Mother's Day cards. So there we are.
Well, that's splendid.
Yes, I think we've covered Mother's Day rather well there, chaps.
Wait for Father's Day.
Father's Day, well, when is Father's Day? Have we done that yet? No, we haven't done that yet.
Father's Day in June.
And what we're going to do for Captain Picard Day?
When's Captain Picard Day?
Let me get my computer.
People in the comments, I'm sure.
A nice segue from that. I have a fairly significant birthday in July. And both my work colleagues and my family have asked me what I'm going to be doing to celebrate it. And I've said I'd like to spend it with people I like. So anyone who might have a plan that want to celebrate my birthday with me, do let me know. As I'd rather not spend it with anyone I work with or my family.
Oh, wow. So I've just a quick Google search has said June 16th is Captain Picard Day.
Well, there you go. That's round about when Father's Day falls.
Yeah.
That shouldn't be a coincidence because he's a great father role model. He was my father role model when I was growing up. I didn't really have a father growing up that was a role model for me. and I watched a lot of TNG, and I like to think that he has some sort of influence on me. I can't imagine what.
It's because you drink a lot of tea.
I do drink a lot of tea. I've found this lovely new Japanese black tea. It's lovely. Honestly, you only have to mash it for about a minute and a half. Any more than that, it's no good. It's a little bit pricey, but my goodness, Japanese black tea is absolutely gorgeous. It's fantastic. Sorry, I've gone off piste again. So I wanted to talk this evening about Deep Space Nine because I'm doing a rewatch at the moment. And this is what we kind of a bit of a theme when I was doing the rewatch of Voyager. We'd talk a bit about it and pick it apart a bit. And I think the reason I'm always keen on doing it is because when you rewatch something at a different stage in your life, I think you take different. We've touched on this already. You take different things from it. As a father now, rewatching DS9 is completely different for me. When I first watched DS9, I wasn't married. Second time I rewatched it, I was married, and I think the universal appeal why so many people like Star Trek is I think that it doesn't matter where you are in life. When you're watching Star Trek, it doesn't matter what stage of life you're at, you can identify with a part of it. I think and it got me thinking, do you know what? It's probably, I can't think of a TV program other than the A-Team that's more accessible. You know, can you name anything that's more accessible? It's just you take something from every time you watch it, you take something new from it at a different stage in your life, as you do with the A-Team. But Star Trek just has a little bit more finesse.
Just a little. Yeah, I mean,
He never had finesse, did he?
I mean, who thought this little sci-fi traveling through space program would have such scope to influence and to affect people, like you say, in any part in their life. So yeah, it's brilliant. The writers are doing good. Bring them back.
Well, they used to be in. It used to be the standout thing. I mean, Miles, obviously you've watched every show we've had, so you'll be aware of the conversations we've had before.
Oh yes, I watched yours. Yes,
but our testament has always been, and sorry to Discovery lovers, we are Discovery naysayers. But the big example we always sort of put between good Star Trek and Discovery is what they did with the 2-part Locutus of Borg one, where they had no money to spend on special effects. So they had the Borg invasion of Earth, and we got, was it 3 ships?
Three little weird things that go
3 little tiny ships. That's all they could afford to try and stop the Borg from attacking Earth. But it still goes down as the greatest 2-parter in Star Trek history. Why? Because they had shackle to spend on the effects, but they were like, right, well, we're limited as to what we can do effects wise and whatnot, so we're going to have to put some really good writing into this, and they did, and that's why it's brilliant. And I think that's where I have an issue with Discovery. I think it's like there's less pressure on the writers to come up with good stuff because they can fill it with good special effects and kind of sell it on that without being rude to the other franchise, like they do with Star Wars. I think that they're relying less on the good writing and more on the effects to sell the show.
That's a lot of films fall into the same trap. There's just one SFX shot after another with no plot.
Although I will have the one exception of that, and that was the Discovery episode where we get to see New Vulcan, but we don't get to see New Vulcan. They shoot it all in the mess hall of Discovery.
Oh yes, we're not going to beam down.
It's like, hey, New Vulcan. We can't wait to see New Vulcan. Great, let's see New Vulcan where they're living with the Romulans. Let's see this planet. Let's do the whole episode in the mess hall of Discovery. What?
I just had a thought. Was some recent Star Trek written? We had the huge writers' strike, didn't we? And so has it all now trickled through production to filming to now release? Has that writers' strike? Are we now going to be hopefully in the dip, and now we're going to be getting some good quality writing because they're no longer on strike.
Well, Discovery has finished, so the answer is probably yes.
I think the problem is more systemic than that. I think writing generally, I think writing to please the mob has become a problem. Star Trek used to be about writing to educate the mob. That's what it used to be about. It used to be about writing to educate the mob, tackle difficult issues, dilute them down with a bit of humor if you have to, but tackle the difficult issues and ask the questions that people actually don't want to be asked. See things, have a white woman kissing a black man for the first time. That push the boundaries and be a bit controversial and maybe go down the roads people don't want to see. Now, when I watch programs like Discovery try and tackle difficult issues, for want of a better word, I feel like it's all being rammed down my throat in a very jagged and bitter tasting pill. And I think it's really sad that they've done that with Discovery, when if you watch season 3 of The Orville, that's how you do it. That's how you tackle those issues. That's how you write about, and they are current issues about transgender and things like that, that are the issues that are important to a lot of people now, for good and for bad reasons. You want to see it tackled properly in a way that's accessible, that can make a difference. You have to watch The Orville, not Star Trek.
Yeah, I remember watching the Orville season, and they really were starting to tackle them. I was like, wow.
And doing it in a really good way.
Yeah, I was like, wow, Seth is doing a really good job of this, So obviously, I think it's a fan letter, isn't it, to Star Trek? The whole.
Well, they're doing it better than Star. This is what annoys me. Well, it doesn't annoy me because it's a legacy of Star Trek. So I guess I personally count the Orville as Star Trek anyway. But it just goes to show the difference in the quality of writing. They're tackling the same issues. They're tackling exactly the same issues. And Orville are literally blowing Discovery out of the water with what they're doing and how they're tackling them, and how they're presenting them, and getting you to think. And that's the point. Star Trek it gets you thinking. I watched an episode of Discovery, and all I can think is, what the fuck did I just watch? That's Section 31. What did we learn? Come on. It's but you want to
Impossible meets Star Trek. It was just Mission Impossible in space. That's all it was.
And what we wanted was the A-team in space. That would have been brilliant. If they'd trapped them all in a space station with like a bubblegum machine and one of those grabber thing, and they'd have come out with a gun. That I could live with. But no, it's if you're going to do Star Trek, can we do the Star Trek that? It's difficult because you're like, oh, is it our Star Trek? Does it belong to us? Yeah, it does, because we made it popular with the fans. Don't pander to us, but please do challenge us. And they're not challenging us at all. If I'm wrong, please tell me in the comments.
No, it's very interesting to know when was the peak in Star Trek? When did we really peak?
TNG.
I'm going to say later than that, I'm afraid.
Nah, TNG was the best. Because you've got to remember that TNG was primarily in a time where it was really challenging a lot of norms. Do you remember the episode that got banned in the UK?
Yes,
challenging a lot of norms. So yeah, TNG was the peak, not just because it was the best, but it was definitely the peak with writing. It was the peak with tackling issues. It was the peak with everything.
And educational.
Very educational.
It makes learning fun.
Sorry, I've been hogging the microphone a lot, so I do apologise. So if we get step in now to speak about, we'll let James go first. I mean, because it's Mother's Day, how does Star Trek help you, inspire you as a better family member? What do you learn about your family from Star Trek?
What do I learn about my family from Star Trek? Well, I learn they don't enjoy it as much as I do. but importantly, they do tolerate me actually enjoying it sometimes for myself. And like yesterday, Richard, when we have obviously we do have an announcement to talk about
Ooh.
later.
Sorry, just quickly, James, if you can jump in and answer Christoph's question here, because he may not know.
It was called, I believe it was called the bombing, and the reason it was
similar reasons, yeah.
the reason for which it was banned was because it was very similar to basically at that point in history, the IRA was committing a bombing campaign, which in fact in the episode they mentioned that the IRA were ultimately successful, and that Ireland, which is divided into the Republic of Ireland and Northern Ireland at present, according to TNG last year, was going to be reunified. So for that reason, it was banned.
Because it was justifying terrorism, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, not very far away from where Richard and I live, in a town called Deal. 1989, there was a bombing committed by the IRA where the Royal Marines were bombed, and there were an enormous number of casualties from that, and it was very close to home for us.
Yeah, I don't think the episode justified it. I think it empathized it, which is what I think you have to do to move past it. But yeah, very, very difficult episode, and completely wrong decision to ban it, in my opinion. But yeah, those are the boundaries TNG were pushing back then. Yeah. So Rashid says, let's get away from the hard stuff. My family don't like Star Trek. Well, it's quite simply, Rashid, find a new family. New
family.
Yeah, that's quite a simple solution for you there. Wrong family there, Rashid. Hard cheese, old boy. New one required. So, sorry, James, you were saying about what it means to your family and Star Trek.
Well, it doesn't mean a lot to them, but it does. What they do know is that it makes me happy, and that occasionally they allow me to go off and do stuff like this, and where we do Rikers beer conventions and things like that, where I get to go and meet nice people who I have something in common to talk to.
Do you think we might be going to a new convention this year?
Which one are you thinking?
Can't really comment on that at the moment, can we?
Oh, no, we can't comment on that one, no. Well, I mean, there are conventions springing up all over the place. There's one in Herne Bay next weekend I'm going to go along to just as a punter because I fancy an afternoon.
Is that the one that says it's a sci-fi one?
And they've got the bloke out the in-betweeners.
Yeah.
It's a $5 to get in. What's the worst that can happen?
They got the chap on from Bake Off, Paul Hollywood's there. It's like...
No, he's not there.
Is he not? Really? Are you sure?
I don't think so. He is local, but
I've met him a few times. I used to look after his fleet of vans, but I didn't. It's a true story. I didn't know who he was, and I've been looking after his bakeries up in where, and I used to look after his vans. And he used to come in. I used to chat to him about it and say what they needed, and it bought the wrong vans. It was our dealership's fault, but we're looking after him. I was sorting out, and I was like, so what's an artisan baker then? It's like, do you do art with it? And he's like, well, it's just really nice bread. And I was like, all right.
You're a baker then.
Like Warburton's.
So you must be doing all right. He said, oh yeah, I'm on the telly. I'm like, really? Hey, not a clue of the fuckery. I had no idea.
if I can get on telly, anyone can. So that's not.
Yeah. Well, no, but it was always really nice.
Let's not forget, Miles is our TV star in residence because he has appeared on Bargain Hunting Brits by the Sea.
Yes, and BBC Look North, BBC Politics North, Channel 5, CBBC.
James was on.
Were you on Balamory?
No, but I've been there.
Balamory's coming back, apparently.
Is it? Why waste the money?
Yes, James has been on Crime Watch a couple of times.
Yeah.
But we know what else is coming up, don't we? This. Record Breakers.
Castle. Sorry.
I mean, Gladiators is back. We're getting Record Breakers back. I mean, when will it end?
We should try and do some sort of record breakers at the next convention. Obviously, dressed as Star Trek's been done a few times now. We try and do something.
Biggest Starfleet conga?
Yeah, I don't think that's been done before.
Biggest red shirt fatality single incident?
Yeah, like that. Let's just do that. Something like that. Let's do that. Yeah, largest conga of people in Star Trek costumes.
And to make sure it's never been done before, with coconuts to be horse sounds.
But then how can you do the conga? Because you have to hold on to the person in front of you.
Maybe you have to have a friend to do the coconuts.
I think there's a problem. You need friends for that.
Possibly we should have a little internal competition, and it should be who can get the most people to join just a random conga line. Don't announce it. We'll just start a conga line, and we'll see how many people we can get to join the conga line.
And then we have to
as many as we can.
And then what would we have as the end piece? The end where we end?
Oh, it won't end.
Oh, okay, fine.
It'll go all the way around like an Aurora bus. It will just go,
Thanks, Dave. Thanks, Dave Giddens, your true friend. Dave is a fan. He's a friend of mine. He's a teacher in Scarborough. Yes, thank you. He says, it amazes me Miles hasn't been on Crime Watch. Yes.
Well, James has been on Crime Watch several times. As an expert criminal.
Is that true?
No.
Oh.
I'm trying to think. I've been on the telly.
I'm the one who rings up and tells the police, I've seen that bloke in the reconstruction, and they arrest the actor.
Have you ever seen the YouTube clips of the guy who bombs the news episodes in America and goes, marrying the pussy?
Oh.
Yeah, that James does a similar thing. That's pretty good. Yeah.
Talking of crimes, can I just leap back to an episode that you just spoke about? And you're talking about the Visitor you just recently watched, Richard. where Benjamin Sisko is caught in subspace and he keeps going back to Jake, and where it shows Jake as an old man and he's been a writer. Every time I watch that episode, one thing I'm really annoyed is about the person called Melanie, who's the aspiring writer who comes to see Jake because she's a huge fan of his work. And Jake's about to die. And she's like, oh, is that the new manuscript you're working on? Can I take it? Oh, please, can I take your originals? And and I'm like, she's going to nick that manuscript and just publish it as her own.
Well, you could have just waited for him to die.
Well, she was nicking it.
She didn't have to ask him. She could have just taken them.
Yeah, but she did. She just, oh, can I just take these, please? So that's the only thing about that episode that annoys me. I think it's a crime.
What annoys me is Tony Todd's ridiculously long arms doing that all through like massive hands and long arms doing that all through the episode. It's a bit annoying.
I just like him as Kern. He's amazing as Kern.
Just a fantastic actor.
Yeah.
It's amazing to think that he's gone.
I know.
He looked so young in that episode.
Oh, they can all get a Rikers bread pencil at the end. How many pencils you got, Jay?
Depends how long you can qualify for the raffle to be able to buy one if you join the conga line.
There we go. Yes, they're that rare.
Oh, that reminds me. I've got some more limited run Rikers Beard guitar picks. So if you're coming to Portsmouth,
look at that.
You can get your hands on. It won't focus. Will it focus?
Yeah.
It says Portsmouth on it. It says it says Portsmouth 2025. So you can get your hands on your limited edition Rikers Beard guitar pick. They do work. There you go.
There you go.
There you go.
Can you play a Star Trek theme on that?
I can play the DS9 theme.
Go on.
It's the only one I don't have the music in front of me ready.
Oh.
But that's the only
Identical.
Yes, the Rikers Beard guitar picks will be available for purchase. We haven't decided how much we're going to charge for them yet. And I thought perhaps because they're going to be available to buy at the Rikers Beard sing along.
$1 million.
It's a very niche product, isn't it?
Well, they're going to be available at the Rikers Beard sing along. So I thought if anyone will come up, because I've bought some special wireless microphones to make it more exciting. If anyone will come up and sing along, then they can get them for a special discounted price for joining in with the sing along. I thought we might make a promotion of it. What do you think, James?
I love it. I love the idea.
Five each. Okay, yeah. 5 each.
Yeah.
Yeah. 5 each. Your Rikers Beard guitar.
Hard cash coming our way.
Well, the limited run, and there are only 24 of them. I'm not having any more made. So 24, that's your lot.
So that's 12 each to both of our viewers.
Yeah. If you want to secure one and you're not going, if you'd like to reserve one, then please message the show in the usual way. You may be charged 50p by your operator if you're watching this on a rerun.
Excellent. So I'm trying to think what else next to say about Star Trek. It's been brilliant. What's my episode? I'm watching at the moment. I'm watching. What am I watching at the moment? I'm watching TNG at the moment. Yeah. So I'm back to TNG at the moment. So, what's tonight's viewing pleasure for you guys? Or what have you been watching that's not Star Trek?
Not Star Trek. I've been watching.
That was fun.
Sorry, James, do it again.
This afternoon, I was watching the Grand Tour with Clarkson, Hammond, and May. I was thinking, yes, this is inspiring me for more ideas for our road trip.
Well, I wasn't going to bring this up until next week because I wanted to go into how Star Trek affects popular culture for next week's topic. But I've been watching The Big Bang Theory again. But we'll save that for next week. But this week we've got 8 minutes left of the show, and we have a special announcement to make. So let me just quickly.
Speciale announcement.
Let me just find the thing for the special announcement. Have we got one?
Well, I can do this.
Oh shit! Let's just run the choose intro.
But why is there a dinosaur?
Why not? Is it made better with a dinosaur?
Absolutely.
There we go.
It's not improved by having a dinosaur.
It's the Japanese ballerinas that puzzles me.
Yeah. Anyway, speciale announcemento. So we've got some special plans that we can't yet reveal. But apropos those special plans, one of our biggest, probably the biggest ever project we've done, and we've done some biggies, requires that we are going to need some workshop space. And happily for us, the RAF Manchester Museum has finally come through and said, we've now got some space available for you to come and do some building and assembling.
Very good friends at the RAF Manchester Museum.
Yes, because hopefully we're going to their convention. They're going to give us a hangar with all sorts of welding equipment and stuff. They're going to lock us in like the A-Team, and we're going to come out with like a Spitfire or something. But yes, we should have access to that in the next couple of weeks. And for those of you who don't know, we're based down in Southeast Kent. If any of you are interested in coming to help us with some very, very heavy building, we're going to have to do in a relatively short space of time.
Can I just interject here? Please, if you're really crap at DIY, don't volunteer unless you can make coffee.
But people who come and bring us the coffee are saving us time on making coffee. So, if you want to come and assist, do let us know.
Cheer us on. Yeah.
Cheer us on. Walk across the room going, sow the water rhubarb, that sort of thing.
So when he's sort of looking for people to come and help you, what sort of time frame we talking?
Well, we've kind of got really a target of the beginning of May to have the project finished, because that's when we hope to have it ready for Portsmouth, which means we're going to have potentially a 2-week window from when this hangar space is available to do some building. So, just throwing it out there. We haven't got any dates, we haven't got commitments or anything yet. But if anyone is interested, reach out to us and let us know so we can put you on our list and in our special folder.
Ooh, exciting.
It is exciting.
We've made some fantastic.
Let's do that again. Wow, James, that's really exciting. Yeah. I knew I could do it better than that. Sorry.
Ah, brilliant.
Christoph says he's finally watched The Three Amigos. Well done.
Interesting story. I went to a wedding and I was asked to do a reading in this wedding, and I got this book and he said just read it, complete series, and it was the lyrics to "Never Gonna Give You Up," and I just rickwrote the whole church.
I didn't even know that was in the Bible.
Dearly beloved, I am never going to give you up. I'm never going to let you down.
Exactly. And I was just
run around and
do it serious, and I did it. I loved it.
Dave says we should have a Star Trek Online theme night. It's been a while, but if you'd like to add me, I do play Star Trek Online relatively regularly, not as much as I used to. My handle is Jaden R. I am a Rear Admiral. I've been playing it literally since its launch, so I'm an old hat at that.
Online now.
I've been playing Star Trek Online since its launch, so I've got the very rare. So you may or may not know, Dave, that there used to be fan-created content in Star Trek Online where you create your own missions and stories. It was brilliant. It was called the Foundry, and if you made a mission and everything, you could run through. You got a special badge that's only available as a Foundry man. I'm one of the because I've been playing for a long time. I have a Foundry badge. That's how you recognise me, founders. Yeah, there we are. So yes, we've got exciting set builds coming up. If you'd like to come and help and you're in the southeast of Kent, we'd much appreciate your help. It doesn't matter what you can do and how skilled you think you may or may not be. Many hands make light work, and we fully appreciate it, especially as I've completely put my shoulder out.
Actually,
I'm going to have to go to the doctors on Monday morning.
Today, I realised that I'm not as young as I used to be, and I'm not as strong as I used to be, and yeah, my shoulder's killing me as well. So the heavy lifting we did yesterday.
Yes, my left shoulder's not been right since the 1st of February.
You guys, your shoulders are knackered. Listen, I'm just.
My left shoulder has completely. The delt's gone on it.
It's not the age; it's the mileage.
Yeah, exactly that. I'm not even a vet. So we
do know some vets, though, don't we?
We don't talk about that, James. We don't talk about that. That was at the London one, at the Hawaiian shirt party.
Yes.
And it's not true. Not all vets carry ketamine. Right. Now we're going we're going to sign off now because our hour is up. However, join us next week for more Star Trek talk. And
more name that door, more massive choppers, more choose your choose.
Booze reviews for yous.
Airlock 101.
How high are you? We haven't played that in a while. We should play How High Are You again. We haven't done choose your choose in ages, to be fair.
We haven't, no.
When I'm out of the pub, remind me when I'm pissed on Wednesday to grab a random person and do a choose your choose, and we'll do it.
Where are you playing on Tuesday?
Don't know.
Wednesday.
Just explain what is choose your choose for those who don't know. For the two viewers.
It's not obvious. We'll find out next week, Miles.
Shut down on a web show.
I don't know if we've got one. Have we got one we can play?
Just while you're looking for that, Richard, I did see a comment way back. Hang on, I'm going to find it because we got sidetracked. The chap from Completed Podcast. There we are. Andy here from Completed It. Hey guys, love the show. Then you said something about you'd like us to come on. Message us, Andy, and we'll sort that out.
I mean, I can't find a Choose We Can Play, but I have found the Mail on Freighter advert. We can finish on that.
Oh, let's have that.
Okay.
Let's go out on that.
Okay, so until next time, look after yourselves and each other.
The pursuit of perfection begins with a dream. Irresistible desire. You demanded. You waited. They delivered. Something to exceed the expectation of millions. You wanted more? Mail-on Cloak Activate Edition. And more? The Gold